And I want to talk a little bit about maybe a little more philosophical. All of you are here on a Saturday morning because you care. You care about America, you care about the Republican Party. You believe in general that the principles of conservatism are what's needed in America and what's needed in Georgia, and are better at governing than what our friends on the other side of the aisle offer. And I appreciate that. As a former party chairman, as Jason pointed out, I have organized and attended many of these conventions. And it's heartwarming to see a bunch of people get up, come here on a Saturday when there's 1,000 other things they could be doing. But you're here because you care. And we're down at the Capitol. You folks have elected, the people of my district in Lawrenceville and Suwannee have sent me to the Capitol to do my best to represent their values and their issues. And we're down there doing that. We're trying to do that. And it's really a team sport, because we can't do things unless you allow us to do things. There's a political philosophy called the Overton window. And basically what that means is, on an issue, Glenn Beck wrote a book about it, on any particular issue, there's a range of policies that people can hold, but there's a window where most people are, and this is really, quite frankly, where public policy focuses on. For example, take education. Okay, you've got an entire spectrum. On one side of the aisle, you have people who say, there should be no private schools, there should be no homeschooling, everybody should go to a public school. That's one side. The other extreme might be, there should be no public schools, period. Somebody in this room might be on that side of the spectrum. But in between those two, there's a whole range of things. And there's a whole range of policies that you can put forward, vouchers, things to restrict homeschooling, you name it. There's a whole range of things. And there's a window that we in the legislature can operate within if we want to get reelected. I'll give you a perfect example of that. Sometimes you see politicians act outside that window, and people pay a consequence of it. Perfect example would be Obamacare. When President Obama and the Democrats passed Obamacare, the Democrats had 59 senators in the Senate, and they had, I don't know how many House members. Rob may know there was the firm control. Nancy Pelosi had firm control of the Congress. And now, look now, Republicans control both houses of Congress. I think in large part through they passed a bill that was outside of this acceptable window that people on the issue of health care that people would be willing to tolerate. And a lot of legislators, congressmen, and senators were sent home because of that. So what does that mean? Well, for us, it means on any issue that we deal with at the state legislature, there's things we can do that you, the voting public, will tolerate. And on any issue, it's more toward the right, it's more toward the Democrats' way, whatever the issue is. So this is why it's so important for you folks to be here today, and you folks to care about what goes on down at the state capitol and in the legislature, because you really drive what happens. It's not me. I can vote certain ways, and then I have to go home to my constituents and explain to them how I voted, and they either agree with me or don't agree with me. And if I get too far away from what my constituents agree with, then I'm in trouble, and I'm likely to be voted out. Because the power still rests, despite all the negativity that we see out there, the power still rests with you, the people. You control what happens in the legislature, in Congress, in the White House, you name it. You ultimately control. And that's why I'm so appreciative of all of you being here today. And I would urge you, we are, as Congressman Wood also eloquently stated, we're headed toward a presidential election. We've all got our favorites. My favorite hasn't announced yet. He may not announce, I don't know. But it is that width of the pinstripe, right, as Congressman Woodall pointed out, that we're arguing over. But when it comes to public policy, we need you to be engaged. We need you to understand what's going on. We need you to let us know. I can tell you, if 10 constituents will email their state representative, it has an impact on how that person votes. I know it does, because I've seen it happen. It happens. So your voice is critically important. And we're at a crossroads, I believe, in the Republican Party. Which way are we going to go here in Georgia? There are those, as Mike mentioned, who say, well, we've got to govern, and that means, and of course we have to govern, we're the majority. But in some people's minds, governing means doing these things over here that the Republican base may or may not like. You're the Republican base. You've got to decide whether those things are what we need to be doing or not. And so I just want to encourage you, just continue to do what you're doing, and I appreciate it more than you know. It is such an honor. It is humbling to go out and to knock on doors and ask people for their vote, and they say, yes, we'll vote for you, and they send you down to the legislature to act on their behalf. That's a humbling thing, that people would trust you with that, and I don't take it lightly. And I know Mike and PK back there and Rob don't take that lightly either. It's a humbling thing for people who really don't know you very well to trust you to go down and act on their behalf at the state capitol or up in Washington. But stay engaged and stay involved and let us know. You're the ones who are going to decide the future of the Republican Party. You folks in this room and 13 other delegations that are meeting across the state in congressional conventions just like this one. Y'all are going to decide the future of the Republican Party. We're at a crossroads. I really believe we are here in Georgia. Which way are we going to go? We can go more moderate, we can go more conservative. I believe, because I've talked to a lot of folks, that what we want to do, what I want to do, is get back to those core conservative principles, because they apply to everybody. It's not Republican, Democrat. It's not one particular race. It's for everybody. The freedom, entrepreneurship, just the value of work, the self-worth that you get from working and earning your living and providing for your family, yourself, it's liberating. And these are the things, these are the bedrock things that America has done since our founding. And we're at a crossroads. We're in danger of losing those things. And it's up to us, you and me, and all of us in this room to make sure that that doesn't happen. So again, Jason, I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you here today, and I'm very honored to be a state representative here in our wonderful state. And if there's anything I can do for any of you, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.